Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to Lion Voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here, hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
The truth is, I deliberately reach out to these places to try because while everybody I run down certain things and want to be in America, whatever. I want to be big in Africa, Rasta. That is what I want. I've always wanted that. I want to be there. I want to, when the scrolls are written, the music are passed down through there, or whatever. That's how it maybe because of just my background and the whole vibe. But to me, the greatest compliment that could be paid to me is just to know that on the continent, I'm a major figure in terms of people looking up to the music and want to see me because I want to go there. It's nice and when people look out for you.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice.
Well, great is the Almighty, and greatly to be praised in the city of Haile Selassie I, the mountain of His holiness.
Yeah, from Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, the whole entire continent.
Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, from Accra to Addis Ababa.
Yes, beautiful continent, better control, mama.
Very beautiful.
From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile. From
I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I see Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. We gonna use solar energy, use sanitation to build the ecology. We utilizing green technology. We hailing Haile Selassie first without apology. And then we build the youth them economy.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of His chosen Queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Panafrican Happy Man. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now, I'm the host of the Lion's Voice. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network and welcome to our newest show on the Lion's Voice Network, which is Lion Talk Live. We were supposed to do this interview live, but technical difficulties, the brethren tried coming, enough things never worked. The Most High wanted it to happen now. So we are here now and we're going to dive deep into the topic. This is Rastafari to Rastafari, so we're not for water down nothing. We're gonna go straight into the reasoning, into the roots of the thing, because we want to move this conversation forward. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce my guest. You can already see him there already, live on direct, award-winning artist, songwriter. Who am I talking about? None other than the great Duane Stephenson. Bless up, my brother. How is everything?
Just a love, brother. But I can't complain now. With life, the rest can fix along the way, you know what I mean?
Yes, I. And I first just want to start by just giving thanks for the eye taking the time. I know the eye is very busy, and in particular, this period of your life, you're dealing with a lot of things, travel, enough things happening. So the fact that you took your time and did this interview, even on the night you were trying to come in, to I, it speaks to the integrity that the I moved through. The I word sound is the I bond, and that is rare in this time. If you deal with the artists, because I deal with them, and I just want big up the heights for that before we even start no reasoning,
No thanks, my brother. You know what I mean? And that is how it should be.
Yes, particularly with I and I. So I want to start off by just introduce yourself, where you're from, how you grew up, and your introduction to the music.
Well, the name is Duane Stephenson. I'd say reggae artist, reggae songwriter. I mean, I could say songwriter, but most of what I do is straight roots, The reggae songwriter, yes, I grew up in Augustown, Eastern St. Andrew. I mean, all I know growing up was that, In terms of how I grew up, like regular, back in the days, them place used to be like rural, it's when the gunshot them start fire, all of a sudden Augustown become urban. Them do them thing already, the system.
Yes.
But when I was growing up there, it was basically a working class community for the most part. Still is, it's just a few people that really throw off the thing, through the vibe with, politics and gangs, guns and, drugs.
Yes.
But when I was a youth growing up there, that wasn't so prevalent. So you find we still grow under the system where the community grow the child and them kind of vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of introduction to the music, my uncle, Michael Rutherford, used to tour with Rhythm Kings band and also Greg Rise Academy, I started out in the Sonny Brad shop, and so music was always around, and occasionally used to tag along to these rehearsals, and that's how I got introduced to the music, But I really never took it seriously until when I was about 16. I joined the Catalytic Players, which is a young people performing arts group, mainly theater oriented. But you learn a lot of the basics inside there, and you learn many facets of the entertainment industry, and also you get an opportunity to really present your skills and, better yourself while you're there, and that's what I did. I started out on a semi-professional vibe with some group of brethren on the beach inside the car, and we call ourselves Twices, Twices lasted for about 8 years, we did a few recordings and everything, but mainly we were grounded here in Jamaica. Did a few moves, but I would say, I never really got much international exposure until after leaving the group. I left the group in about 2006, and by 08, the end of the beginning of 08, I embarked on a solo career with the help of Mr. Dean Fraser with the album Duane Stephenson from Augustown, which was, for me, it was an identity, a place to start, somewhere that people can say, this is what I'm about, where I come from, and this is my story. From there, it's basically history. The album did very well with songs like Get Up Here and Cottage in the Girl, which was a redone of a great classic done by originally Tyrone Cale, and of course Augustown, the track itself.
Yeah, man, big sound.
Thanks,
so in terms of Augustown, I met one of my seminal moments in Ras Tafari happened in Augustown, where I actually met an elder named Bongo Watto, Ras Bonaji.
Yeah.
Was I familiar with that, ancient?
No, at the time when, Dreadites was a powerful movement, and all of course they used to all gather down by University Bowl on a Saturday morning and everything. My father was a part of that, the movement, a lot of, along with many of his friends, through the JC connection. And people like Peter Phillips and them used to kick ball up by there, and I used to go through with them goes. So they are really senior people for man like me,
Okay.
But, I was around because, as I say, Augustown itself played a integral part in, how many places in the country play and boast, boy, I have a place where Rasta strong called Dreadites.
Yes.
Those days, a lot of even those Rastas were university graduates and things like that.
Yes. I've heard of it.
Yeah, man.
I definitely want to dive into the history of that. And then, of course, when people hear Augustown, they think of Sizzla Kalanji. Were they familiar with Sizzla from them time there?
Yeah, man, me and Sizzla, we pretty much grew up together, man. He lived on then the property, most of what he owns right now used to be owned by my family. So we used to go down by his place, down by the spring that travels through there. Of course, we shared class 1 or 2 years because both of us also went in the same grade, same year, everything, at New Providence Primary School. You know what I mean? So I knew him from Miguel Collins days. I mean,
Yeah, man, give thanks, give thanks. I always tell people, that 96 to 2000 Sizzler was instrumental in my uprising in
yeah, man,
Rastafari.
most definitely, man. Listen, Augustine was once a pilgrimage when he just started out, and much strength to him for those things, you know what I mean? Of course, a little bit of that changed because of, maybe focus or whatever, but we don't need
Yes,
to
yes.
go there to know. But initially, it was like that. I remember when, Nayabingia keep down Augustown. The closest parking was Mona. People had to start running shuttles, All of Augustown was parked out, was far up to University of West Indies.
Wow.
Gate, yes, man. Serious thing, man. Serious
I would
business.
have
Not to
loved
mention
to.
yeah, man. It was powerful. You know what I mean?
And also another history about myself. I was actually born at the University of West Indies, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, right.
The University Hospital there is my birthplace. So, but I wanna go into. Do I have a very soulful voice? Do I have any formal training, voice training, or is that just something natural gift?
No, I mean, I put a lot of work in it. But in terms of formal training, what I learned to do while I was in the club was to listen, because then you become a part of the choir and you get to learn that 90% of music is listening. People don't understand that. You think that you can just come and do whatever you want and your vocals will just, magically work with you. It may work like that for a very few that is born with perfect pitch, but I wasn't one of those lucky people. So of course work had to be put in. But to say that I actually had like vocal training, that wasn't the case. I just, once I learned to listen to quietly, learn harmonies and everything, and to hold your own in the place, I started to experiment with sounds and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And because I wanted to be a roots man, from ever since. So I think that's why, everything that I did was kind of geared into, producing that sound, that energy to grab and to convey the messages that I think I wanted to, put forward through my music.
So in terms of, do you sing any other genres of music, R&B, soul, or is it strictly reggae?
Growing up, well, right now is mainly reggae and roots, but I mean, growing up, we did everything. When I was in the group, I mean, I started out in the theater. Theater is basically show tunes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Midnight, not a sound from the pavement.
Okay.
Kind of sound,
Okay.
Yeah, so we look like that, and of course, we did a lot of gospel while we were there, because this is Caribbean are gospel people. It go.
Yeah, man.
So through the years, I dabbled in different things. While I was in the group, a lot of what we were performing was like cabaret kind of vibe, and it was mainly like, pop songs. I mean, it was my most enjoyable moments, but it was me alone in the group, so of course you have to give a little, you know what I mean? So, but I think that made me rounded, So
yes.
Once it came to when the opportunity came, so I could move forward on my own, I think I had a lot in the bag, so to speak, to pull from.
Okay. So in terms of their journey into Rastafari now, what was their journey into Rastafari like?
Well, the truth is, it's always been around me, It's always been around me. My grandfather, had locks at one point in his life, and then, when he got a little bit older, for whatever reason, he had some problems and he had to cut his ear. But then my father used to be around them all the while. It was a part of that whole thing, because, as I say, Jedites was a lot of the pull from Jedites was GSC people. And of course, he was a GSC old boy, so of course he was amongst them, along with a couple of his brothers. So it's always around me. If you're in Augustown back in those days, you find that a lot of the elders who, were always willing to teach and stuff like that. And there was always a powerful Rasta presence in Augustown, I think. And I came up through that. And of course, even my entrance to music, because for me, luckily, I was always moving with Dean Fraser. And around Dean Fraser was always root people like Mr. Brownie. We call him High Priest. You want to meet him, you know exactly why. What I mean? Glenn Brownie. So we're always around that kind of energy through Dean and the kind of musicians that that he surrounded himself with, and the kind of people, because Dean is a man who at one point, as a youth, he was playing for Bob. Then extensively he played for Peter, and of course he even produced songs with people like Dennis Brown and all of the greats, you know, Gregory
Yeah,
Isaac
man. Legend.
extensively, you know what I mean? Yes, man, you know, and through that medium, I got to work with a lot of those guys before the passing, as much as I was, you know, young and coming.
Wow. Very powerful. One thing I've learned doing this program is that when people say Rastafari, they have different relationship with the emperor.
Yeah.
What is your insight or how do you relate to Emperor Haile Selassie within the eye chart?
Teachings, you know, while people are distracted with doings and all sort of stuff like that, you know, I go with the teachings. You see, if it's right, you know, and if it's right, it's righteous.
That is.
You understand what I say? So I've always indulged in the teachings of Rastafari, you know, and I think there is where the real power lies. So we can talk about all the semantics and all kind of things like that, but when it comes down to the teachings of Rastafari and the movement, and to find that, you know, is one man that preach empowerment of the black race, acceptance of the black race, righteousness, spirituality among the black race, you know, knowledge, you know, strengthen your foundation with knowledge. You understand what I say? Learn to stand strong, stand powerful, stand confident. All of these teachings came through Rastafari.
Definitely. And when was your first time become aware that there was this emperor in Ethiopia sitting on the throne and that people cited him?
No, man, I can talk. The truth is, I can't even pinpoint that day, my brother, because it was always around. As I tell you, it was always around. As I say, you know, I as a man grew up on Bryson Road. Bryson Road is literally right across the road from University of the West Indies. And as I tell you, every Saturday morning, when you go up by, Saturday afternoon, but Sunday morning. So Saturday evenings, because you know them only harder on a Saturday for the most part. You know, every Monday they are being come through. But once evening come, they were kicking ball, and a Sunday morning again, they were up here for an extended period of time. And of course, as you know, all Augustonians from every corners of Augustone used together up at University of the West Indies. So once you are there, it is around. You understand what I say? These are the guys that we used to, of course, broke up the little squabbles that, you know, the boys with energy will have. Yes. And then once that starts, you know, them man step in and say, no, man, I know always say the things and whatever, you know, Rastafari, I love and really. So it was always around.
Always around.
It was a hard transition. And as I said, coming right up to when I link up with Dean Fraser and them, man, the presence was always there.
Always there. Are there any particular speeches that you love from the emperor, or any particular sounds or moments within the liberty that stand out to the eye as Rastafari?
You know, sorry.
No problem.
For me, I just take a little from a lot of the speeches that he has given. The one in United Nations. Well, no United Nations, but yeah, that was a very powerful speech.
Yeah, man.
I really can relate to that. Yeah, man. And the fact that, you know, him call out all of them nation leaders to the point where, you know, you see the shame on some of them face. Because luckily we have little proof to, you know, older days recording. You know what I mean? Not as graphically beautiful as today, but we saw enough to see that. Listen, when a man from a place like that, from a little place like that, can come in front of all of these great world leaders and show them, say, boy, wanna go out with the foolishness, the knowledge wanna claim so wanna have, it's all a lie, it's all a facade and everything, and you need to step up on the better than that in order to bring the world together. And without that, you're going to fail. Without that, you're going to see exactly what we're seeing today.
Definitely. And we know the great Robert Nesta Marley immortalized a part of that speech in that song War.
Yeah, man.
Have you ever considered, with your level of voice, and I'm planting a seed here, so too, you know, have you ever considered taking a speech of His Majesty in the same type of regard and putting it to song format?
Yeah, it has crossed my mind. It has crossed my mind, but because, you know, a lot of what I pull from is reality, you know, and I tend to twist words in my own kind of way, you know. Yeah, like I wrote a song and performed a song called Nature Boy, you know what I mean? Back in the days, a lot of people keep asking, what is Nature Boy? Because the man same name George Bush, which is, you know, related to nation, but look what he has done. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So with all of these things, I take a lot from life. So there's still time yet. There's still time yet, and I'm not ruling it out. I am
No.
definitely not ruling it out. You know what I mean?
I would put like a #1 song if you do that, because this is what that's why
Especially now with what's going on, you know, sometimes
this is what I'm
you have to
saying.
do these things.
And
Yeah,
you
you have to
see,
do these things in order to move it and make step it up another generation. Give it new life.
I'm
We
telling
shouldn't
you,
need to,
I'm
but
telling
we do
you,
need to.
I'm telling you, and you see with that little opera voice where you bust out, them, you know, say your range no normal. You understand? You know your range no normal. I'm an artist myself. I hear the tonality. I was listening to your catalog in relation to that. I said, this man have an angelic voice. You know, so I'm planting that seed here on the Lion Talk.
Yeah, man.
Put His Majesty word sound into music, our #1 song, we say it right here. But this brings us into our topic of discussion for this interview, because we want to talk about Rastafari reggae and the way forward. So I was just establishing a foundation for the reasoning in terms of chad into Rastafari, into music. So the two sides, and now we want to look at, and I want the idea, I tour the world. I heard on good authority from someone who was very active in Africa that there is one of the most requested artists in Kenya. So I don't want nobody feel like he's a local Jamaica artist or him thing the global. How, you know, you look at the landscape, you come up with legends, you have worked with legends. How do you look at the current landscape in terms of Rastafari, the music? What grade would you give it in terms of A, B, C, in terms of, you know, pass or fail, in terms of, you know, how do you think the movement is utilizing the music? How do you think the impact is in Jamaica globally? I just want to kind of get a overview from the eye in terms of Rastafari reggae at this moment.
Well, I guess you'd have to probably break it up in zones, so to speak. I think it's the best thing. We'll start with here, the obvious place. You know, for here, I would say right now we are at sea. We are at sea. It is very unfortunate that we are at sea, but we are. It's not like the music is not being made and everything, but the emphasis on good, wholesome music, it doesn't exist here at this point in time.
Wow.
I mean, every now and then we have good spurts of music, like, you know, when Chronic came through and it was just a great thing, and every now and then, you know, without the Protege or whoever comes through with a great song and it just cannot be denied. And even so, you know, them play it, and then the minute them get a chance, them shut it down, never to come back again.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and when you look, we understand where this is coming from, bro, because, you know, you speak to a lot of guys and say, listen, I feel like, you know, the missing link is a lot of time the disc jocks, you know, and everything, and they like to blame them for the disparity in terms of what is going on and the radio and, you know, the space and everything. And then when you talk to a disc jock after year, man, pull you one side and say, boy, the way, and let me tell you something. The real thing is, you know, it's all about money, you know, brother, and sponsorship, you know. You understand what I say? And certain things just now give the sponsorship because them think that, you know, reggae is a more adult, more responsible kind of thing, and a lot of the businesses that have the most money to spend in advertising are trying to appeal to the younger kids.
Okay.
You understand? So, in a certain businesses, you can't play certain things, it can't be certain tempo, it can't be this, it have to keep on a bounce, and, you know, them like to say, yeah, man, it have to have a vibe, and a vibe, and a vibe, and a vibe, but what exactly is this vibe? What exactly is this vibe, and where will this vibe carry you?
Where is it carrying us?
Exactly. You understand what I say? So even if you look around at, there's like a few. I mean, after all these years and after everything that Tony Rebel has done, Every year, Tony will have to be jumping hurdles to get enough sponsors to put on a show like Rebel Salute. Why?
Why?
Why you don't have a show like White River Reggae Bash anymore?
Exactly. And I have to big up
You know
Tony
what I mean?
Rebel. I have to big up Tony Rebel because he's a man that come on the panel for Jamaica Music Conference. He's a man that come with Jaria Dudar Youth Summit. Anytime you call on them, man, they feel strength.
Yeah, man. But you
He's
see,
there.
him understand, say, you know, we can't really give up on this thing. So you find that a lot of time the truth is the energy to continue in roots music is when you leave Jamaica and you go to other places and you see the appreciation, the admiration, and just the sheer respect they have for the body of work and what the words are truly about. And the fact that the struggle is parallel to what they faced then or are still facing today. And the fact that some people just want better for their country.
Yes.
No, we want what America wants, which is nobody knows because America don't really know them want neither. Yeah, that's what I say. Because I can't care if America wants this destruction. We see exactly what's going on right there, right now.
Yeah, man, it's rough. It's rough. I'm in America. I'm in the capital, Washington, D.C. right now. I can tell you I say it rough right now.
Yeah,
in
man.
America.
Yeah, man. I can imagine, you know.
Yeah, man. For real. And we know we fight not flesh and blood, spiritual wickedness in high and low places. And from what they are saying, you know, sometimes this is manifesting in terms of an economic interest where the brands that are supporting the music, funding music that might not be the best for the society, for the quick return on investment, the quick ROI on investment.
Thank you very much.
The youth them gravitate to these harmful
because thank you very much. The harmful things that they're selling, to them, all it is a profit margin. Understand? And the kind of music we sing is too empowering. And sometimes it will get in the way of your profit margin. You understand? Because we now got to talk about certain things, the youth them for do and the girl them for do this and that. And the idea say, I mean, a lot of times, you know, a man say, boy, refer to a girl as a girl and them feel like, oh, you don't know, that's the culture. Whose culture?
Whose culture? This is a degenerative culture, you know what I mean? And it's not everything that people do is really our culture. And remember, we have vestiges of slavery in our culture that have to be eradicated. So it's not everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So certain things, because to me, the same energy you take me say girl, you can simply say girl. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Point is that most of the people who, as I say, have the most money to sell, trying to consume the younger kids' time. And the earlier them do it, the better for their margins. Okay. Because once you get the youth them on a level spiritually and educationally and just keep them confident, you find that they're going making a lot of decisions contrary to what a lot of these major companies want and to lead down the road, because a wholesome company that is a must to live don't need to advertise as much as the ones who is definitely tainted and is just play the devil's ball game. And them need to really advertise and them have the money. So they come right down to that.
What role does government play in terms of mitigating some of this or investment? Do you think the government has done enough to invest?
No, man, them hide a lot of things under free speech. A lot of things is hidden under free speech. Because whenever, like people, you know, like for instance, the gentleman who runs the company that monitors certain things on the radio, he's been having hell to do with. You understand me? A lot of times, you know, the minute he point certain things out and get, you know, serious about it and everything, the first thing you hear is, you know, about free speech and free speech and free speech. But free speech not free, my brother. Because, you know, if speech is free, you can say, hey boy, dead if you're dead, you know. Yeah. 10 hours if you just kill that boy there and then next thing you end up dead. How free is that? And free for who?
Free for who?
Responsible speech, it would make more sense.
Yes.
You understand what I mean? So a lot of things is hidden under that, I think. So you find when it comes on to it, a lot of the stress we face on with certain kind of music and certain kind of content comes down to profit margin.
Yes. And therein lies the challenge that we face. One of the things that I speak about on this channel is something called purpose over pumpo. Meaning, a lot of, as you said, the girl argument. It used to be one time that it was the dancehall artists that were in this realm. We now start seeing Rastafari artists kind of gravitate into this type of messaging.
So, my brother, let me tell you something. So, nowadays, me find say, when me tell a man say, yeah, you know, a man say, so that dread, and me say, yeah, man, dreadlocks and whatever, and a man started, boy, you can't call things dread and this and that and ray. You know about the next man, but remember, back in the days on Augustone, when I had this virgin, his real name was Carl. That's a boy, you couldn't call him Carl. You have to call him Dreddy like everybody else, you know what I mean? And when Dreddy died, it was like everybody in Augustone, especially on Brycel Road, lost a part of them soul because of what Dreddy represented. And then, so nowadays I find say, a lot of games are played with narratives and reggae thing, and the youth them say them a Rasta invest in all of the wrong things. A man decide to, the system this, and I'm not going to do certain things, and one education, and because them a teach a Babylon things. Brother, to me that's an excuse to be lazy.
Yes.
To be worthless.
Yes.
And then the next thing everybody try to do is to be intimidating. No. How you gonna say I love through intimidation? You hear what Hitler? How that work out? How you gonna try to say you love me and you try intimidate me at the same time? How it gonna work out? How it gonna be inclusive? How can I not be repulsed by what you are trying to do? How can I not now resist? Which is a lot of what Rastafari have faced these days. Resistance because of a lot of these guys going around say them a Rasta, and every time is a serious face, and if someone, boy, you can't smile so much in a Rasta. What does that mean? I don't understand that. I remember when I was going from New Providence back in the days, and every now and then, you have to little lunch money because it never much to begin with. And you're walking down, heading to Augustone from Out Ligani. And one thing you pray to say on the way, especially when you reach right under the aqueduct, the university, under them dark trees, is a Rasta man for trad with. Dreddy you want to see, for trad with Dreddy down the road, and Dreddy is always such a powerful spirit and being, and it means peace, and it means security. Security.
Becoming good with everyone.
I tell them Rastafari is security for the youth them. How Rastafari became intimidated. A man feel like say, revolutionary means, angry and violent and rare. That is not what it means. No. Sometimes it comes down to violence, but what Rastafari preach is the empowerment, even Baba and all them, the empowerment of the mind first. Knowledge is real and true power. And through that you can get the most angry man, the most serious man with them gun. And if you talk to him with enough, respect, love, passion, empathy, him can be the next Rasta man.
Well, Rastafari proved that. Yeah, Rastafari proved that in Jamaica and the worst garrisons.
Yes, my brother. You know what I
mean? The history is very clear in terms of the impact of Fari. I know enough elders and they tell me the tradition. I've been into Garrison region and I feel nothing but love when I go into these communities. You know what I mean? Because of the Rastafari banner where we fly.
That was a diplomatic passport for the get of them Rasta.
And you know, it hurt my heart because I lost a brethren to gun violence in Jamaica, and I couldn't believe how them killed a Ras. He was the head of the Ras Tafari Youth Initiative Council down there. They were doing some powerful work right on Marcus Garvey Drive. Man, them kill him, man. You know, it was a big blow, you know, to enough youth down there too, but it showed that the lack of respect that this generation of youth have, you know.
But
and
you see, it starts somewhere. It starts, so we can't make it look like I just for them fault alone. When you, as a Rasta man, invest in a intimidation and them things.
Yeah, man.
Anything that people find intimidating, the one thing what them want is it out of the way.
Yes.
You understand me? I say you can't spread love and, you know, equality and all the things that we like. We sing about, we talk about, we preach about, and yet still it cannot start with intimidation. It cannot start with the lack of knowledge. It cannot start built up on lies and disrespect. It cannot start that way.
Yes. And love is militant. And I tell people, one of the things that the emperor did in the mid 70s, when the whole thing, he took a militant stand for peace. This is one of the reasons why they said the emperor was senile, because he refused to use force against the student uprising. He refused to crush the Derg, even though the majority of the military was still loyal to him, and they were coming to him, telling him, and him say, I refuse. You know, if the people want the revolution, I will stand with the people. And this is why you hear that they said the emperor lost his mind, but he took a militant stand for peace. And we know that
that's how it is.
The mark the perfect man, behold upright, for the end of that man is peace. So that militancy, as you say, peace can be that militancy. I say right now the most revolutionary act a black man can do is to lead a black family.
That is 100% true.
You see what I say? Because that is what we're lacking.
True.
We cannot build a nation if we have broken homes. And right now in Rastafari, this is one of the things I'm rallying against on this channel. In Rastafari, I'm seeing the same broken homes, single mothers, all of these things that I'm seeing out in Babylon, and we're burning Babylon. But our own home life is not good because man is trying to be gallus, man want have 4 or 5 homes and you can't afford to maintain those homes, you know what I mean? So we have a lot of breakdown, which I think some of it is being promoted by the music, and this is why I bring a man like the I here to talk about.
Music is promoting where, you know, big media and big company are trying to, because the truth is, you know, I talk to a lot of these youth, and as much as enough people feel like them youth are just going around frivolously and just doing whatever, when you really talk to them, to a lot of them, say, boy, listen, a long time you sing good tune, you know, rave, and them now play my good tune, you know, and an idea.
I've heard that as well.
Me have a mother who me try to get out of certain things, and would I love for all of my youth come them now if I go through certain sufferation. When you hear stories like that, like that, you can't help but to at least try to understand where a lot of them are coming from. You just let them fall prey to the system. You understand what I say? And it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. So we have to go figure out how we have to fix it from the roots level.
It's important. In terms of the overall reggae music industry, we're going through, I would say, a low period in terms of the economics of the movement. I represent some, or I used to represent promoter. I work with within the industry. I know promoters, reason with them. And right now for Caribbean promoters, particularly in America, is not a good time for reggae music. No. Very low the cost, versus the pulling power of the artist is not adding up for most promoters. We have a situation in America where we have Live Nation and Ticketmaster as kind of the running a monopoly on most of the venues. And so it's only certain artists that are, up to that scale that can even go through that pipeline.
Well, you know,
go
I'm
ahead.
going to tell you, in America, I think we were basically cut off from mainstream media
Okay.
as reggae artists. We were cut off from mainstream. You find that a lot of the bands now, the major bands, the bigger bands that have real pulling power are American bands.
Yes.
What do they sing about? You know, having a holly jolly time.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I say. What them a do? You know, them wear the colours, but what them a do for the most part, now nothing to do with Rastafari. A few of them, of course,
No.
you know, will sing about, you know, flying the peace banner.
Yes.
But you know, at what cost?
It's very safe music. It's very safe.
Yeah,
It's not
man.
stepping on no
Thank you very
toes.
much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's very palatable.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so what we try to do now is try to sideline all that is, you know, a force against the system.
Yes.
And I can't exactly say it's just, you know, it's just reggae alone facing that, because I've seen the death of rap music,
Yes.
you know, replaced by hip hop. Don't think it's the same thing. Don't for any
Okay.
moment in time, because remember, rap music was the force of positive change to black people. Now that was the anger of the youth and all them things. Now I mean, see the man them take time till them turn it into this very strange things. You know, kind of like a reflection of the dancehall, you know, where, you know, all sorts of things are going on. And because them have more visuals, it look even more terrible.
Yes.
And, you know, where is rock music? Remember, rock music was the white version of the rage against the system, you know, because I used to listen to a lot of them content and everything. And them used to be serious revolutionary music and drive it for change. And even though the Migla, all of the protest and everything, you know, rap music was the background of a lot of that. We are there today.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? I say, so all of it to me is, I think, is a system set up to kind of, you know, mute certain things. You understand? But we are getting my helping hand with a lot of the content and the behavior of people who were supposed to be, you know, the fruits of Rastafari.
My thing right now, I think we have to invest in ownership. We have to build alternative pipelines. You know,
That is true.
some of the work I've been doing. We have the association of Rastafari created. We started a trade association to start to you know, build out that infrastructure. We actually just had a member meeting with Rastafari TV. We're going to be collaborating with Rastafari TV, because I do believe we have to build out our own ecosystem. We have to aggregate our market, because right now we're so dependent on other third-party platforms to get our message out there.
That is 100% true.
Yes, and we have not invested in building our own platform. So even if the mainstream cancels us, because remember, we're in the age of direct to consumer. You know, the internet provides you an opportunity to connect direct to your consumer without going through a third party, so to speak.
Yes.
But I don't think we have caught up with the times as Rastafari. We know that the call was to organize and to centralize. However, I don't think that we've done that, and this is why
we haven't.
I'm
We're still in.
Light the eye. This is just a little intro, you know. Don't think you're gonna get rid of me after this interview, because we have a larger plan that we are enacting. Even my creating this YouTube channel is because we don't have Rastafari. You know, we have vloggers and things, but in terms of that vision for where the movement is going. This channel is about the building of Zion, because if we're burning Babylon, I always say, what is the alternative that we're building for the youth? What does that look like?
Very much.
Practically, you know? And the music is the soundtrack of this repatriation of this building. When is the last time we heard a repatriation song come out of Jamaica? Tell me, Bridget, because you know better than I.
Bro, you know, I have heard them, and they come out the studio. But them don't come out the radio, I can't tell you that much. It's because I'm there, you know, I'm there in the studio, because, you know, I do a lot of writing. I still do background music and everything.
Yes.
I'm, you know, between the Taj recording studio to Penthouse to even down at Tough Gun to run at Grafton. So a lot of the iconic studios, we still rove in between and still sing a lot of background through being in all these different places and different artists. But once it leaves the studio, many times you never hear it again.
Wow. What is the last big repatriation song that I can remember hearing coming out of Jamaica? People, I want you to note the pause. I want everybody just note the pause.
Yeah.
You see, and this is an island with hundreds of Rastafari artists, you know. This is a Rastafari brethren who is in the know. It's not like me when they're Washington DC up north and kind of disconnected. What is the last big repatriation song? All right, dash that way. What is the last big song there is heard glorifying the emperor?
Once again, almost every day at least one come out the studio. I can be testament to that.
Give thanks.
A lot of times if you don't go on a stage or you listen to a radio station in maybe Europe, you know, no Africa, places like even the Philippines and everything are emerging markets for roots music and these things, and those are the places you have to really go to even hear certain kind of things. I mean, you know, South America majorly. I mean, like right now the biggest reggae festival in the world is down in Brazil.
It's bigger than Rotterdam, the one in Brazil?
Oh yes, man. In terms of a one-time audience, because Rotterdam, you know, spreads out over a couple of days, but that's a one night show, and it is the biggest one-night reggae show in the world right now. Reggae Republic.
Reggae Republic. You see, people.
Reggae,
this is the value of Duane Stephenson, because he's not a man we're on the periphery. You know him I talk about. You understand? And I'm a man we test people as an attorney, and the man know him I talk about. So we say Brazil have the biggest one-night reggae show.
Yes, they do.
Wow.
They do it out in Salvador.
And this is, you know, we know that reggae played a role in the liberation of South Africa, Southern Africa. It was a soundtrack of the fight against apartheid.
Yeah, man. No man more vocal about them things international at the time. Outside of Miriam Makeba, and you know, as vocal as Peter Tosh.
You see?
There's not a second man that could rival Peter Tosh to a man will leak out from the apartheid system in music and stage, all major stages in the world.
Or do we have any artists singing about the African crisis or situations happening now, or the unification of Africa?
Well, I've done that. I've always been doing that. People like me and Luciano put out tracks. As I said, these songs, I hear them in the studio. You just don't hear them on the radio.
On the radio. So this underscores...
So there's a great divide.
Yes, this underscores the need for us to own our own platforms. Because if these songs are not making it to the mainstream, it is uncontested that there is a global audience that seeks Rastafari content. This to eyes, there's no question. Rastafari music makes billions, not billions, millions. Let me be modest. It makes millions of dollars every year. If we just look at the Bob Marley estate alone, which probably accounts for a great portion. But Rastafari content is in demand globally, and what the eye is saying is underscores the need for us to create our own platform and to gather that market, so that they have a place that they can find these songs, so that when artists like yourself are recording these songs, there is a place to go. And I want to big up, I know Muta Baruka has recently launched his radio platform, and you have others that are doing similar type of works, and we'll get Muta Baruka was at the launch of ARC, the Association of Rastafari Creatives, so big up Muta for that strength. And we have a lot of others who are making the effort, but I think we need to aggregate these things together. So I'm hoping that I will spread the sound that we have a Rastafari Trade Association for Creatives, and our aim is to really just bring everything in a one, so that the audience, we can develop these platforms to really take it to the next level. Let me talk about how you became one of the most requested artists in Kenya, because I've gotten this on good information. Someone who knows the African market highly. She said, Duane Stephenson, say promoters always reach out for this brethren in Kenya. How does that link with Africa and in particular Kenya? How do you create that link?
I think it's just the kind of music that I stay consistent to. That has always been the thing, and the truth is, I deliberately reach out to these places to try, because while everybody I run down certain things and want to be in America, whatever, I want to be big in Africa, Rasta. That is what I want. I've always wanted that. I want to be there. I want to, when the scrolls are written, the music are passed down through there or whatever, that's how it, maybe because of just my background and the whole vibe, but to me, the greatest compliment that could be paid to me is just to know that on the continent, I'm a major figure in terms of people looking up to the music and want to see me because I want to go there, It's nice when people look out for you.
Yeah, man. What countries have you been to? What countries in Africa have you been to?
I've been to Gambia, I've been to Zambia, I've been to South Africa, and I've been to Kenya. But I need more.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Trust me, it's always. I think the first time I went here, I was a little bit disappointed because I went there alongside the Whalers. When we got to there, we went to Victoria Hotel, which is a major thing, right? Like literally the property of the falls. And I was quite disappointed because when I got there, I realized that we were going to do a show for a major bank out of Europe. Why? Okay, trust me, man. I was so upset. Of course, a good show. You're glad that people really reach out. I want to hear the music, but it's because I wanted to just be amongst the people, hear the stories.
Yes.
Really get that wholesome vibe, that different.
Man.
Where I search for your soul, I search for as a black man,
Yeah, man.
It was a different thing, even to the point where me and one of the guys had a little bantering going on because I went up to him asking, what's the name of the falls? And he keep telling me Victoria Falls, and I keep looking at the man and I say, listen, man, brother, I ask you, what is the name of the falls? It's Victoria. I said, bro, get me, man. Yeah, I never start this back and forth thing till me I have to tell him, I said, brother, let me tell you something. The Queen just come the other day. What was it before she came here? What the natives call it? And him start dead with laugh. And then he would start to tell me and explain the whole thing. I said, that is a long time, Rasta. Me can ask you, what's the name of the fall that about Victoria Falls? And everybody know that kind of bullshit. Does that make sense?
Who is Victoria around here?
That jump in, brother.
Who is Victoria around here?
I tell you something. I try to mash up history till, but the truth is, if you name the place, brother, put it back to the original name, man. I swear to God.
And that is gonna happen. I'm confident across the continent. Yeah, man. All of them names they are gonna erase. In terms of your Africa experience, talk to me about your most memorable Africa performance.
For me, it was the first time I went into Kenya. The kind of love and just respect we get from the average man. I found myself, most of what I was doing was, I can't wait to leave the hotel that I was staying at to go walk up and down amongst the people. It was just such a welcome change, to say, oh, people still have roots. And, I went down, I ended up going to one of the major, the ghettos with like, what, 700,000 people living in a
Kibera.
Yes, I went there. I went to a studio there because initially I went to, they have an office that they set up, that's supposed to be a transformational office and everything. I went and we're talking to the guys and I said, hey, let's walk to the community. And of course, the news people and other people were begging me, no, Mr. Stephenson, no. I said, but I understand, He said, the man might invite me in them community and I said, no, one of them was supposed to, so I went too good for trad road with the man. And I said, no, man. And the man literally I try to hug me up to get me to stay and I have to take time and pull the man out of the way. I said, brother, just calm yourself, man. The man look like him never going there before in his life. And him is from there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it was such a powerful vibe and such an energy that, of course they captured some footage of it and everything. And at no point I never felt unsafe. I never felt like I didn't belong there, shouldn't be there, anything like. I never felt that, you know. We went through, we walked through there for about an hour, met the people, take some pictures, you know. I let them kind of vibe, and to the point where when I left there and we ended out decide, come my brother decide the boy I'm going to go on a vacation. I'm in Mombasa, which him have a little property there.
Yeah, man.
And by the time we got here, we go enjoy ourselves and the beach. Me hear the boy, a minister of government want to talk to you. So I say, Mr. Government want to talk to you. Him suing at the ghetto and decide say I say because apparently it was one of the younger ministers. He used to be the head of Google for Africa. Very innovative virgin, you know. I'm kind of glad that I made the trip, even though they already canceled my hotel, rebooked me on a flight. So it's not like we had a choice. But you know, when you talk to this virgin, you hear the vision of the man have for Theme Africa. You realize, yeah, but this is where we need to go. It's a very innovative view because at the time they were building 28 recording studios to invest in a youth with talent.
Okay.
And to generate incomes and to help spread positive vibe throughout the country. And the major thing that youth want to get into down there is either rap music or reggae.
Okay.
Reggae being the number one.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And
Powerful.
the government is making 28 studios to facilitate this kind of development amongst the youth.
Has that happened or that's a plan to happen?
They started.
Okay.
I mean, about a year or so after that, they had invited me to come down there to open to the studio, but I wasn't able to make it. But I think Richie Spice and Etana was there to open to those studios. So things,
Okay.
they put things in place and they're putting the money where the mouth is and their thoughts are.
Give thanks. And then on that trip you're talking about, did you actually perform for an audience?
I did, and it was amazing, man. One amazing night. It was myself and Davil.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was definitely a magical night, so to speak, brother. You know what I mean? And the funny thing about it, in terms of the audience size, it was massive, considering that the night before our show they had Escape and two R&B group out of America. And not even for them crowd. I come nowhere near that. That's so weird. We're the big artists on you, man.
No, but I totally heard that there is a big, massive artist in Kenya. I getting this on good sources. I don't know a lot of artists closely, but I know a lot of movers and shakers in the business. And the I name come up in reference to Africa in particular. Say on the continent, the I is respected, and I think it's because your music has not deviated from that original message, you know?
You know, a lot of people say that, you know, the message is what they need at this time, you know. And for me, it's very heartfelt that one can look at you and say, listen, your message is what I need, because millions of artists out there singing, brother. And for somebody look on you and say, listen, your message is what I need. You know, it really charges your battery and keep you excited about what you're doing and keep you motivated. It's a humbling thing, man.
Give thanks. I really you know, you're a virgin after my own heart. I just actually bought land in Ghana.
You did tell me about that.
Yeah, of moving there. So I'm one of them Rastafari, like the I can't wait to go to Africa. When I'm in Africa, it's like pressure rise off. You just feel like you're home, you know? And the love of the people. And I'm telling all the brethren and sisters watching.
I keep telling people, man, the first time I went there, sorry.
Yeah, man, no problem.
You know, I walk in at them time, one of the musicians in the band just got a blue book from America. I mean, you know, I was so proud, boy, I finally get this book, and the trouble to go through immigration, which I understand, you know, sometimes depending on where we go, just a lot of places that the band traveled to. It made it a little bit easier. But then we got to Africa, and of course, you know, we're going through. It wasn't even Kenya. It was South Africa. It was our first stop. So flew down to South Africa. We're on our way to Zambia. So once we go through there, have to clear, you know, immigration and customs, and then, you know, basically just go back to the connection area. So I see them guys, run up to the thing and everybody feeling proud, and the man take the blue book and look at the blue book. And then the man just take the book and just seal it across the place. Whoop, one, they have to catch your book, man, because that's a fly. If you miss a ground that day, the man say, you go over there, you go over that side, and you pay 50 of your dollars, you go. And the man, they're not talking, them just run, you go over there, say, go pay the money, man. Dash your passport, yeah, and pay a blue book and fly about the place. So wait. So, I go with my book, I've make the money and everything, and man take the book from me and look on the book and look for me. I close the book and say, welcome home, my brother. You need not pay. I'm just gone, and I say, yeah, brother, what I say now? Yeah, my hype, man, my hype. The hype, man, you know what I mean? So, it's a good, and it happens in every African country that
man.
I think it's a policy, because when we went to Kenya the first time, me and a virgin named Ken Ring from out of Sweden go down there. He's part Kenyan.
Yes.
But every time we have to pay $50. So of course him going through, and he gave me $50 because I never had it is actually 50 euro.
Yeah,
I never have no euro cash like that on me. So, and them don't take kronas,
Yes.
So he gave me like 50 euros. So when I got round to weigh the bags, I still had the 50 euro. So I'm say, wait, so we have money. You thought you said you never have any cash. I say, we never have anything. Man say, so you didn't pay? Man say, no, them just say, welcome home, my brother. What them tell you? The man cost the whole time, man. I say, every time I come here, man, I got to pay. You come here free. I say, yeah, brother, that's where I belong.
and it's not just Rastafari, it's Jamaica. They really love Jamaica.
Not only Jamaica, but Caribbean people. I think once you're Afro-Caribbean and you go there, that is the policy, to welcome you home, to make you know that this is where we still have respect and we love you, and we know the journey and we see the movement.
And this brings us full circle, because I think a lot of that love was born through the music.
Yes.
We were singing about Africa when it was not popular to sing about Africa. Before there was Afro beats where take the place right now. The only music that used to mention Africa in a positive light, other than we have the great fella Kuti, but his music was very critical of African government. But the music that sung of this one vision of Africa, the united Africa, the aspirations of what Africa can be, was coming
Reggae
out
music,
all
man. Roots music. Yeah.
Yes, and this is my concern, because if the music is just being made in the studio and it's not reaching there, we have a cause for concern. Right now, Afrobeats.
Afrobeat it had to have, for how long those people been trying and everything, and their experimental sound. I think it's just their time now, and I love to see what is happening with the music. And it also kills a narrative that I've always thought, because a lot of times people saying that, certain music, when you talk, say, listen, go try clean up the kind of violence and certain outright things. Boy, no man, cause you have to talk about them thing there. When you say I go shot man in the head and them brain and jump out like Jack in the Box and them thing there, and you have to say, because that is what you grew up. I mean, look what's going on the ground in Nigeria, and you've never heard an Afrobeat song telling you to go pull a gun shoot nobody. Never. According to what the critics are saying and the naysayers about certain things and the hypocrites, Nigeria must be paradise. You understand what I say? It must be paradise, but it is a real place. But the people have better aspirations for themselves, for them culture, and for their music.
And it's working.
Exactly.
Don't forget.
So I listen. For the kind of talent where our youth them have, especially in the dance and all them kind of thing. I don't know if some of the people that we talk this foolishness about, man, just because Ray, and I know what you think clean thing. I wonder if it's a bad mind vibe, because me I say, how can you not know that these youth, the kind of talent to them have, them change the content of what them do? These men them move from era star to superstar in a month, man.
Yeah, man.
And that is what me want for them, because You know, when you hear just some of the youth, them and all the man them flow and thing, I know charismatic, them whole vibe is just listening. If you tweak the content a little bit, you're gone.
Gone clear.
It's not a fight, you fight, you better we want for you.
And in America, I don't know about anywhere else, but in America, the Afrobeat is taking that segment of the dance that was reserved for dancehall music. It's getting shorter and shorter in the parties, and that Afrobeat is taking up that slot because people want to dance, they want to be happy,
want to enjoy themselves. Thank you very much.
Enjoy themselves, and the trap dancehall that is being made in Jamaica doesn't carry that vibe. Yes, one wap 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 may get through every now and then, and it it's kind of a song that.
But you see, everyone wap 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 will get you 100 of them end up not being heard ever, and then that 10 youth could have really gone out, they gonna feed them family on a different level, end up on the same corner, I get it till shooting go on and him lie down there on a Friday night on the news.
And regardless, there are some criticisms about even the reggae revival artists, but one thing I can say, even if those artists don't make another song for the rest of their life, they can tour. They've already built catalogs and a small fan base, some bigger than others, but they've built a fan base globally and a catalog where they could tour for the rest of their lives just on what they've created because they chose to make positive music, and I think this should not be minimized or overshadowed,
but minimized by who though? Like, as I say, music have a tendency to take our life and this one. And once it's out, it's not coming back,
Yeah.
It's not coming back. So we can go through and talk all the food shit that we want put out. But once good music is out there, good music have a tendency to find its way around. I remember about 3 years ago, little before the pandemic, I was invited to go at Tobago Jazz Festival. The first time I'm going to Tobago. I've done shows in Trinidad, but never Tobago. And how I got there, Fool for You was the number one song. This is 3 years ago in Tobago. Like Fool for You came out on the August 2 album. That's 07, 08. That's what I say. So that's it. Like I did a reading of members only, and a couple years ago, that came out from like what 010, and about 5 years ago, or maybe 4, I ended up doing a tour of Nicaragua just before the last set of unrest. And like a tour of Nicaragua, I literally went to about 5 different venues, different parts of Nicaragua, touring because that song hit. Like,
wow,
this is a solid maybe 8-9 years after the album came out.
Wow, timeless music.
I mean, you have to take a chance on good music, take a chance on good content. You know what I mean? Because the truth is, family music is the best, because if 5 people in the house and all 5 can listen to your music, you don't know where it going to go. But if you go and sing song where is the mother and the father alone can listen to it, and if the mother go to church, listen, the father alone might catch a vibe or fight for a while, and then every time the kids come off it, change it. They want to get tired of it and just snap that the whole thing. And you're creating a divide in your own audience.
Why do you think, even though our elders set the blueprint, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer, Burning Spear, Culture, the blueprint is there. Why do you think ones have deviated from that blueprint when, it's a proven model?
Hustling. The truth is, a lot of people at one point started going on the road with suits and calling it band because some artists want more and less for the band. And certain kind of music cannot be played with 3 or 4 people. So then they start to water down the music so they can tour it with the little that they need to tour it and whatever. And then start at the beginning and the end. When they got rid of the handsman for the Triton, you understand, we lost energy because you're thinking that what you do is made it a little bit more comfortable, easier, cheaper to tour or to travel. But what you did was you kill the spirit of the hands. You understand what I mean? Because we not account for that, we not account for the energies what these people and the music instrument themselves bringing up. You understand? We're not accounting for that. All we're thinking about is this dollar. And how much you can save, and then promoters, and the promoters who know better and try to force it than the other promoters. Boy, you make things bad for you, Rasta, because you give them too much money, you bring too much money, and because if you do that, then you're going to make it hard for you, way. And a lot of them confirm, and then the destruction just went down the hill.
Yes.
And then when you leave with your little band, now you go a place like Brazil, and you see 10 man come on the stage and play. Your 4-man music can't compete with that. Your 4-man music, listen, the first time I go on there, I went to the Whalers. And boy, when I see them Spanish man go on stage, I sing roots, reggae music. And when the man them roll out them band with them 3-4 hands man and them background singers and rare, and then it come like the whole world full of music, brother.
Wow.
And you're not to be a fanatic of music, you just get lost in the music.
Yes.
You understand? Versus when you go and you see 4 man on a stage and set them on the band and them roll off and everything, and you can't deviate, you can't put in the niceness in the music because everybody have to keep consistent to the root stuff because there's just no more facility to do anything. Because not you're great as a keyboard player. You can only do certain things and no more because it's too handy. Unless you can play the ear.
Foxy attack, and these are key components that you're speaking about when it comes on to our music, because you're right, the music is a living entity, and having each instrument carry a vibration of a living eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And when that man gone, his spirit is gone, his energy is gone.
It's something that we have to really look into. So what I really want to know is, in terms of the way forward, let's talk about, because my channel, I don't want just be a lamentation channel. We want to talk about solutions. How can we start to right the ship then from where it is? Because I think you alluded earlier, it's off course.
Yeah, you have to put the music back in the music. You have to figure out a way to work with a lot of these promoters to bring, if it's even at this point, we're starting over, we go as parties. For instance, 3 solid artists go with a full band complement of horns and everything, so everybody can make a full presentation. And that is how we're going to rebuild this fan base and really spread the music bigger. And once, you go there like that, then, everybody can make the next step. So the next time you're going, you can take your own band. So more spirits, more musicians, more families will be, eating from that. And we can go there and perform at the level that we need to. Because as I say, with less music, all you're going to get is less music. Less musicians, less music. Less music, less musician, less energy. You understand me? I say less things for people to look at. People can't get lost. I don't envision anybody looking at a man sing with a 4-piece band and get lost in the music. I don't see it happening. I absolutely I don't see it happening. It's very hard to do. I mean, you can jump up and down, and that is why a lot of them revert to this thing where every song you start mix boom 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 boom. How often you have to do that before the people realize I just idea behind it?
You're talking about when them going to the jump up section?
Yeah, I mean 1 or 2 jump up section if you want to show is all well and good. Yes. But when you got me that every song, because you try to hide the fact you don't have enough musicians to carry the music in the way that it was made in the studio. It's only a matter of time before you get called out in terms of a man come and say, oh, the show is the show is alright, this song. There's nothing to write home about. But as I said, I went to Brazil, I don't know these guys, and I remember them because once the thing started here, how full the whole thing was, it's kind of hard to forget.
Okay. And you made a key point, because the background singers, one of the things that set aside even the great Robert Nesta Marley is the high trees.
Yeah.
That harmony. As you say, you can lose yourself in just the harmonies, and
yeah, just like Peter Toucher did have the Tamlins behind him, and when the man there sing a murder, you know what I mean? So even that has a spirit and a life of its own. So Bob Marley was like a show within a show. You have the band, and with the band I do as a show, separating apart from the artist is another show, and then the background singer is like, so it's like a tree show, it's like a combo you get in a Rasta.
Combo.
You know what
And
I mean?
I choose them
Yeah,
well
man.
synchronized to all steps them and everything.
That me I tell you, Rasta.
You know,
So
so the
you can-
presentation.
Yeah. And
And-
the truth is, even a lot of with the American bands, that is how they are there. A lot of time you go, you see one man play 3 different instruments, and them still have 7, 8 man on stage, and every man singing and thing there. And you get it's a fuller in terms of a live presentation. It's fuller and it's more things to, spark the senses and just kind of wanting creating a distraction. Because and then by the time the show is done, you feel like you're in, you're well entertained.
You know what I think the music is missing too. When you listen to roots music in the 70s, like the Mighty Diamonds and them, we don't have a lot of male harmonies anymore, you know?
Yeah, you don't have as much as we'd like. We don't. I know. So every now and then, Dean call we like we have a male vocal thing between myself, Natel, Dean Fraser, and a Virgin Kate named Chris Smith, and Dean call the Sketalites. That does male harmony, but it's not done half as much as it used to be. I think, what I mean, and sometimes it really make a great difference, and it's just a different energy. Because a lot of, the art is about energies, you know what I mean?
That is it. And when you hear Abyssinian, Mighty Diamond, it's a unique tonality, when you have
the bongos, all of them kind of things.
Yeah, man. The male harmonies that are key as well. So in terms of Duane Stephenson now, what does the future look like for the eye in terms of where you would like to take your journey musically?
Well, I mean, the thing in front of me right now is I just finished an album with Donovan Drummond and Penthouse. For me, it's a new sound, and it's just doing something else, building up on what it was a challenge. You know what I mean, and I like that. But I didn't deviate too much from what I know, and I've definitely not deviated in terms of the content and stuff. I don't, because I don't do that. You know what I mean? I keep it straight, family music, same way and whatever. But that's something that I'm looking forward to, and in short order it should be coming out. But for me, it's just still, building on what I have, one brick at a time, keeping the music steady, trying to do as much as I can in terms of, to keep youths motivated and just show them a different way. You know what I mean? Because along the way, you have to stop to make, because to me, it's a very important thing. You know what I mean? While we were in the pandemic, I started giving out computers when I realized, there's a lot of youth being home, and at the time it was almost a catastrophe going on at the fact that we were so not ready as a country for the digital age. So it's amazing to me when fast forward 3 years, I'm here and talk cool about digital currency and all them things. Digital currency, bro, Wi-Fi not even a certain place in Jamaica. How that drop in? You know what I mean?
It's serious.
Yeah, so
talk to me about the sound of this new album. You people interest. Is this gonna be modern roots? What is the direction? What is the sound? What can the people expect?
Man, there's a roots component to it, but there's also like the kind of Penthouse kind of sound. I think I don't know exactly how to describe it, and that's what I mean. But it's definitely we stayed true to the music, man. We stayed true to the Jamaican sounds. You know what I mean? Whether it be a little bit of a ska vibe, you know what I mean? Some kind of rubber dub thing, them kind of things. So we stayed true to the music, true to the scope of Jamaican music. The only thing with the point yet are mental, but we still have time.
and you're always welcome to forward on this platform. We're fairly new, but I can guarantee this will be the largest Rastafari platform. Just come check in a couple of years.
Yes, sir.
I go see this dog go stop build. But I want to before we seal up, just in terms of the scope of Rastafari, do you see more collaborations with Rastafari artists coming together in the future? Do you think there should be more? Do you think there's enough? Talk to me about the collaborations in terms of artists, Rastafari artists?
Yeah, listen, there's that's always going on right now. Nowadays, I'm kind of watching what even what Damian, Marley, and Steve trying to do right now. We realize that they're putting on their own shows in America right now, more so, you understand, and inviting a lot more of the Rastafarians artists into the space and to put them out there to a bigger platform. I thought that this should have been something that should have been done years ago, but you know what? No, it's not too late. And I see a lot more people doing that because when you have certain platform, it makes sense to pull along another one or two, because that's what a lot of the other forms of music does. So definitely, I think this is a way forward. This is definitely a way for the collaboration of, Rastafari roots artists getting out there and building what that vibe, that energy, light that fire again.
Like,
you know what I mean? Because as long as we have life, there is still the possibilities and still the opportunities to do just that.
And as a brethren who is back and forth to Ghana, I can safely tell you that the return has begun. The diaspora from America, from the UK, from the Caribbean has started to flood back into the continent.
And because, of course, it was inevitable. I've seen this coming many years ago. It was inevitable. You understand me? I say it was inevitable. A full circle.
Yeah,
it couldn't go any other way.
This return needs a soundtrack. Because everything we do as black people need a soundtrack. You know what I mean? Just like in the 70s with the uprising and these things, we provided a soundtrack. This is why I asked you the question earlier about when is the last repatriation tune. These Africa tunes right now more than ever with the rise of black tourism into Africa, the black return. Every time I'm on a flight to Ghana, I'm with an African American family that is moving there permanently, or
man, because you can live. When I go down there and see what people living off down there and people living versus like the money where you are spending in America to live 1 month, that's a 1 year money.
1 year money.
Less stress. You will live longer because you know if you are about you can actually go rest at night time and you know have to worry about the next bill, because sometimes them bill coming at you in the nights like dope, them things are dope, brother. So it had to I saw this coming many years ago, because once you travel you realize the energy, and then when you go to these different places you hear the rhetorics and you hear people are actually a little bit more open nowadays when you realize that, listen, why are we dying to stay in another these places and take the injustice and all this thing when we can move to a place where we're depend equal, where we balance? And balance is what most of us really want, because many people not necessarily try superpower thing. The average man just try to find balance, quality, the same thing. Level, same thing. And that's what I mean, I say. So it was inevitable that it would come to this, and I'm not surprised a bit. And it maybe the reason why them don't want to put not fly no plane come straight from Africa to the Caribbean is because they know so them planes soon start go back full one way.
A real talk, brother.
Yeah, man.
Because I say when people, I tell everybody just go see for yourself. Don't go and say you're not gonna come back, because that's what holding a lot of people. Because they say once they go they're not gonna come back. But I say go see, come back and then make a plan.
The thing that has discouraged many people, I think, is just the cost that they put on getting to Africa. And it should be, because if a man can live from Yesau and Ghana, China, I don't see why Africa no further than China.
Exactly. But the cost is expensive. The tickets, plane tickets.
It's a deliberate attempt to cut to half.
It's a fact you're talking about. All right. Yeah, we're getting ready to seal, but I cannot, because I as a founder of one of the founders of the Jamaica Music Conference, we have something called the Sound System Summit. I myself used to play a little small sound when I was growing up in Canada. Sound system culture is the backbone of the music. I want to know, what is your relation with sound system culture, I also represent sound systems and things in my law practice. In terms of your interaction with the sound system culture, do you cut dub plates? Or do you
Yeah,
listen?
man, listen.
Do
I
you have
cut
a
dub plate. I listen to dub plate. I try to. If I can even reach a lot of these things, luckily we have the internet right now. You can take in a clash live and all them things, and that's something that I truly love and enjoy. You know what I mean? It is great when you have something that is indigenous to your country,
Yes.
that has gone to such a broad scope. You understand? So to have something a treasure like that and to say I'm involved, man. I'm involved in the whole vibe, man. I'm involved in it, and it's something that I really love, man. And it's nice because I guess even with the pandemic, it gave a new life, I think, to the sound system culture. And to me, it's beautiful. It was something that was missing. And it kind of, fill up that gap when people started doing, first, all of a sudden you go on the internet and people start doing clash live in them little room and
Yes.
about them thing. And I'm on a clash for them room and everything. And, I realized that even after that, no, so you find that a lot of, like some of the biggest dancers right now, an artist dance in New York, 5 sound in there. Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing, and I think it was somewhat of a rebirth of the original style of dancehall, and people find that there's joy in that thing, and I hope we don't deviate from it again as much as we did the last time around.
Okay. Which sound can play the most Duane Stephenson on dub plate?
Well, I don't know. I mean, so the sound they play the baddest one, a Mighty Crown.
Okay. Okay. Big up Chin and my brethren. I went to Howard. Big up Chin. We're gonna have Chin on this platform soon, for sure. But yeah, man. So talk to me about in terms of dub plate cutting. Do you have a certain style that you use when you're cutting dub plates, or do you have a format, a template, or do you approach each dub?
No, man, I've never worked. To me, it kind of annoying to work a template. That's crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The truth is, for me, singing in your tal keeps you sharp. The idea when do a template and just kind of make it run on your say. John, I know, so I've never had a template. I've seen people do it and I wonder how them so patient. I can't do that. Even if I make a mistake in a dub, 99% of the time, better to start from the top and just go right through and sing it. And I believe in that. So therefore, every sound, you don't know what kind of like a glitch or whatever going to catch the people or whatever. And to me, it just give everyone its own energy. That the template don't necessarily allow for that, and I don't do it.
Yeah, man. Give thanks.
I mean, it's much easier. I mean, the truth is, even if you make a mistake right now, you can punch. Back in the days, not even that you could do Rasta. You have to just go through and praise and a mistake they make, because a match per man dub plate. The days is a one-shot deal, so it's even easier right now for we. So if you go at template, to me, that's just lazy, brother. I know about that.
And we give thanks because these are things that we want. I want to let I know there is the first artist to come on this Lion Talk platform. You won't be the last, of course. Every Rastafari artist will have to come here, but the eye is first, so the eye is in a history on this platform, and part of that was intentional because, like I said, I really respect the eye message. I respect that the eye is one of the artists that is focused on the continent, because that is where my passion and my heart lie. And I really respect what the eye is doing for the business, for the industry. I also want to big up the eye for coming on our platform on Twitter Spaces. We had a reasoning on the same Rastafari, Reggae, and the way forward, and the eye answered the call and came, and it was actually from hearing the eye reasoning on that platform that said I have to reason with this brethren because him talk sense, because sometimes you can't get an artist and him sing good song, but the reasoning not too solid, So me really give thanks that I can hear someone who knows what they're talking about, and I could hear from a musical perspective that they are really on top of the industry. And just to be clear, to recap, you're saying the way forward is really package deals where one band can back multiple artists and they
Yes.
can put on
They
a
can carry
presentation,
yes, with a proper band, full complement, you know.
full
And I think
complement,
that
horn
yeah,
section,
yeah,
everything.
because right now we have to sometimes it don't make sense to try fix a house if it not have good foundation. You have to just lick it down and start right over.
I
And
advocate
this is
for that.
one way to start right over. And even back in the days, a lot of the shows, the major reggae shows was that format.
Yeah.
One great band, so yes, and so you have Light Park, really people and them, and then you have a bunch of artists that go around with that band, and them have a full complement and a great show for everyone, the audience and also for the artists.
I agree with you 100%. I think we have to start from the ground. And
Yeah,
I
man.
think that as we do this now, we have to either by streaming, we have to have something where we're building a Rastafari own platform. So as we're taking the music back out to the world, we're building an email list where we have our own emails that we can market direct to our audience. We are also aggregating the market, so the merchandising, all of that is coordinated so people can shop, buy the artist merchandise, and all of the other ways to monetize. I think we have to, if we're singing about burning Babylon, we have to practice what we preach. We have to build our alternative system. That doesn't mean we can't collaborate on the mainstream.
Of course, you can. You understand me? I say?
And you know
The truth is, the world needs inclusiveness right now.
Yeah, man.
Where it's going, but it's nice when instead of always staying and bridging your house, you build your own.
You build your own. Blessed is the
Because
child.
Everyone, you understand? And no care your bridging live good one night time, I go wine in house by himself.
Yes, I. That is natural. That is natural.
Yeah, man.
That is natural. And as Rastafari, we can't feel like that Babylon is obligated to carry our message to the people.
Thank you very much.
That is not a sound thinking strategy. And His Majesty in Ethiopia made sure he built Ethiopia independent. When we go Africa right now, I'm flying Ethiopia Airline with the lion on the side. Because His Majesty said, you know what, me now gonna deal with Delta and these things, and I'm gonna train my own pilots, my own engineers. I was flying from Addis Ababa to Ghana one time and the engine blew out on the plane. We had to make an emergency landing in Nigeria, in Lagos at the airport. And we were there, they put us up in a hotel overnight. And when we look, is the engineer them come from Ethiopia. Ethiopia Airlines sent back to Ethiopia. Another plane brought the engineers and they fixed the plane right there in Nigeria. Ethiopians. So they didn't have to outsource to America or England or thing to fix them plane and get them plane. And His Majesty set up, you know, all of the training colleges and things.
Still have a nice setup like that in Jamaica. I remember when we had the safest pilots in the world.
I remember here in Jamaica.
We have the best safety record in the world, the best pilot. You can't sleep and you not even know so the man take off Ireland. And we ruined it with corruption. So it's good to see that Ethiopia Airline after all these years is still flying, and to me getting stronger and stronger as we go along, because you know, while I don't go a lot on their routes very often, but I see the development, and anytime they have a lot of the latest planes and all them things.
Yeah, man, Dreamline and Jet, all them something there.
Man, it's awesome to me to see.
And I was just talking to a brethren and we are commenting when you come off of the airplane, and sometimes you have to go on the tarmac to get to your plane, and when you just see the whole line of planes down the tarmac and all of them have the lion on the side, as a Rastafari brethren, it just fill you with pride. And then you look around the airport and you see the city of Addis Ababa rise up and it look modern and pretty, and you know, say, you know, the holy mountains, it really touch your heart, because the highest of himself shall establish I and I. And that is His Imperial Majesty. So we really give thanks. I'm not gonna take much more of the time. I just want to say a final sound to the Lion Pride. That is what we call our subscribers, the Lion Pride. You know, just say your final sound. Let the people know where they can find the eye, how they can connect with the eye, how they can support the eye, because we're asking all the Lion Pride stream the music of this brethren. We're asking the Lion Pride to download, buy, we cannot talk about we don't have good music and we don't support the artists them we are holding fast. We want these brethren to be multi-millionaire so that they can support the next section of artists. So just please give us your final sound and let the people know how they can connect with the eye.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to get right back online.
Yeah, man, your camera's off. It's all right. There you go.
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, man, just give the people your final sound and how they can reach there and how they can buy the music, support the music, etc.
Well, in terms of how to support the music, you can always go to DuaneStephenson.reggae.com, Duane Stephenson Reggae, Facebook, Duane Stephenson Reggae, and Instagram. Or for all the albums, you can go to VP Records and just put in Duane Stephenson, all the major platforms. Same thing, you know what I mean? In terms of a word to the massive, firstly, I would love to say a heartfelt enough thanks for, always supporting my music, but by extension, roots music, you know what I mean? Without your support, it wouldn't be possible. We'd still be singing to ourselves in our bathrooms and entertaining ourselves. So, we're grateful to let me know in our house, in a car, you know what I mean? In our own personal space. So, enough thanks for that, you know what I mean? And for you, some out there, keep yourself motivated and remember, it sounds corny, but education is the greatest empowerment that you can have for yourself. And remember, a wise man will make wise decisions. Understand? So, keep focused and keep tuning. Rastafari love.
Let's say it first. Give thanks, my brother, and again, just give thanks for really coming forward to the platform. It's very important that we continue to have these reasonings from as Rastafari to Rastafari, because you can see the line of questioning is going to be different when you talk to your Rastafari brethren than if you go to a mainstream platform. We got to talk to the brethren about the emperor, about Ethiopia, about Africa. We never have to deviate into no mix up, not like that, never take place. So, you understand?
A real tax.
So we give thanks for the eye, and it's crucial. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story, and this is true. The Lion Voice.
Lion Voice.
Well, great is the Almighty, and greatly to be praised in the city of Haile Selassie I, the mountain of His holiness.
Yeah, from Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, the whole entire continent.
Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, from Accra to Addis Ababa.
Yes, beautiful continent, better control, Mama Africa.
Very beautiful.
From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile.
I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I see Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. We gonna use solar energy, use sanitation to build the ecology. We utilizing green technology. We hailing Haile Selassie first without apology. And then we build the youth them economy. We dismantle Babylon monopoly. We teach the youths them how to live properly. Tell them make sure them got the title for them property.
Yes, this beautiful continent, better control, Mama Africa. From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile. For Mama Africa.
I love you, Mama. Your heart never harden. I wanna turn all your slums into garden. I wanna stop all of your youths from starving. I wanna stop all of your tribes from warring. So much to say, so many feelings. We both been hurt, we both need healing. Since the League of Nations you've been appealing. You stand up against them backdoor dealing. I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I seen mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon floor. Then I hear you call mama Africa. Been so long in America. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon floor.
So be still, all enemies of Jah. Know that he's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the Lion Conqueror. And it was said of Ethiopia, the highest himself shall establish her. His Majesty was born there.
And I know that I love you so. There's no place that I'd rather go. Tired of walking through slush and snow. Repatriation, that's the most I know.